Sometimes the most shocking corporate misconduct is hidden in plain sight, invisible to the naked eye.
What is happening here will swallow our world if we don't stop it right here, right now.
Looking back, there was an early clue that the world's richest man was up to something here.
It's just like, why is Elon Musk coming to Memphis?
The people of Memphis soon found out.
Now Elon Musk is coming to Memphis to build the world's largest supercomputer.
A year later,
We here because we mean business.
people here want answers.
It's the job of the health department to protect our lungs, and not once have they went to XAI to see that they had 35 gas turbines operating and polluting our air.
We went to Memphis and found an environmental crime scene. Musk's data center burning enough methane to power a small city with no permits and no pollution controls.
I have not seen anything like this. We believe they've already violated the Clean Air Act.
As Musk helps dismantle the very federal agency that's supposed to protect us against pollution like this,
There is no way to miss how this is a coordinated strategy.
Oh, they're trying to say you got a snake in the hen house.
what does Memphis reveal about the future Elon Musk wants for us all?
So the mission of XAI and Grok is to understand the universe.
In 2023, Musk founded XAI to produce and sell artificial intelligence.
We want to understand the nature of the universe so we can figure out where are the aliens, what's the meaning of life, how does the universe end.
Its main product is Grok, an AI chatbot that he's incorporated into Twitter, or X. Musk was entering the race to dominate the AI market, but he was arriving late, years after competitors like OpenAI and Google had begun training their AI systems. So in Musk's mind, he had to move fast.
We went to the data center providers and said how long would it take to have 100,000 GPUs operating coherently in a single location, and we got timeframes from 18 to 24 months. So we're like, well, 18 to 24 months, that means losing is a certainty. So the only option was to do it ourselves.
Been waiting for this moment. I am pleased to announce that XAI's Gigafactory of Compute, the world's largest supercomputer, is to be located in Memphis, Tennessee.
Musk dubbed the project Colossus, after a movie about a supercomputer that becomes sentient.
Yo, that's dope that they be putting those little billionaire things in, right? Like, this probably something he's seen as a kid growing up, like, oh, I'm gonna do this. And he recalled it back. Because that's crazy, man.
And assumes total control of the world.
And so, my fellow human beings, we all directly
Oh, that's a crazy name. It sees control of the world. I didn't know that. All right.
and indirectly live in the shade, but not the shadow of Colossus.
When you think about the computational power that it will take to put humans on the surface of Mars, that's going to come from the Gigafactory of Compute that calls Memphis home. We were told that by the company. And so it required speed and power.
It's announced as a done deal.
Keyshawn Pearson grew up in South Memphis.
A billionaire and his organization is coming to our city, and we're just finding out after the land has been purchased, after the project has been approved by certain officials, right, who did know.
This is huge. This puts the word out there that Memphis understands operating at the speed of business.
As a community, we're trying to reach out to people and understand what is XAI.
They probably passed that like at some city council meeting or town hall meeting, and they all voted for it, and none of these concerned citizens that's living paycheck to paycheck and got to worry about life was worried about this. And then it came out of nowhere. They're like, what? And they're like, yeah, we passed it 3 weeks ago at the board meeting. Nobody was there, and it was 2 ayes, and it passed. Come on. Like, this type of shit happens every day, especially in small towns. That's why they get taken advantage of, because there's nobody there knowing, in the know.
He built it without us even knowing that it was being built.
We had to watch this over X or Twitter. Brent Mayo, Elon Musk would tweet often about where they were in the progress, how fast things were moving.
To train an AI system, a data center requires an enormous amount of electricity. The question was, where would the power come from?
Most companies, when they come to the city of Memphis, they plug into our power grid. That's what you think would happen. Why would this be any different? Unfortunately, we learned because it is a billionaire's corporation, it would be a lot different.
XAI made a deal with the local...
Nah, you don't want that. That's the whole point. You don't want it to be able to just go online and have access to everything, right? And then, connected to the main thing. That's like the basis of so many movies. Oh, it connected to the mainframe. Now it's going to be out in the world. That was like the Terminator movie. Nah, it wanted its own power grid with his own little thing, put it on his own little island that it can't escape as it gets smarter and tested.
Local electric company for 150 megawatts of power and agreed to build a new substation to help meet that demand. But Musk's ambitious plans suggested he would need much more power than that, and fast. Soon, people started to notice some unusual structures outside the facility.
I drove out there, and the first thing I did was hear the turbines. You can smell it as well. Such a disturbingly unique smell.
From the road, Keyshawn and others could see a row of machines that are typically only used for remote or emergency operations. Mobile gas turbines.
I have never seen portable turbines used like this.
Patrick Anderson works on air quality cases for the Southern Environmental Law Center.
We know that these kinds of generators require air permits. And so right off the bat, we started filing records requests with the local Shelby County Health Department. Do you have an air permit application from XAI? And they came back and basically said, no, we have nothing to hand over. We also filed records requests with EPA to see what they had. They also did not have details on what is on the ground out there. Nobody from the regulatory side, the health department, the city, EPA, has told the public or us really one iota of what's actually operating out there.
To figure that out, Patrick and his team hired a photographer to capture the data center from above. The images revealed far more turbines than anyone knew about. 35.
I couldn't believe it. I was absolutely stunned. How do we not know about this?
According to XAI leadership, the turbines are not being used and are not connected.
Under pressure, XAI claimed it was using less than half of those turbines.
I've talked to the XAI leadership team. There are 35, but there are only 15 that are owned. The other ones are stored on the site.
Well, first off, these are expensive. There's a turbine shortage nationally. You don't obtain these turbines and put them on site if you're not intending to operate them.
So Patrick and his team sent the photographer back out with a high-end thermal camera.
What we saw is 33 of the 35 were very clearly operating.
The turbines were capable of generating about 420 meg.
They look like nuclear explosions or like the stuff you see on the back of a fighter jet.
Megawatts of electricity. Enough to power around 300,000 homes.
They've built a power plant out there. And they've done it overnight, no air pollution controls, quick and dirty, no permit.
I mean, what you've done with the cluster in Memphis is incredible. Just in a handful of weeks.
Any given thing can be sped up.
Yeah.
Like whatever speed is being done, it can be done faster.
This is the largest AI cluster in the world. This place is absolutely amazing.
That is like superhuman. I mean, Elon is singular. Building a massive factory in the short time that was done, there's only one person in the world who could do that.
And this entire supercomputer is built to power rocks.
We were given a tour at XAI, looking at the facility. Very impressive, very exciting for Memphis. Their commitment to the community is remarkable.
It's unique in my experience.
Joseph Goffman has worked on air pollution issues for decades. Until January, he ran the EPA office that regulates air quality.
Most companies that I've dealt with go to great lengths and spend a lot of money to make sure that the day they turn on their operations, they're also turning on their pollution control equipment. That's a given. For a company to do this, it's treating the people who live there as if they don't count.
I like to open my windows early in the morning to breathe the fresh air, God's given air, not the air that man want to give us, but God.
Easter Knox lives just over a mile from XAI.
I really wasn't getting the fresh air. I was getting that pollution that was mixed in with everything.
I'm sure these people are definitely suffering. Like any great accomplishment men have made from fucking, I don't care if it was just the cotton gin to now, the printing press, whatever it was, it took a fucking lot of eggs breaking to make that omelet. I'm sure these people going to end up with cancer or something down the line or this or that. They're going to have a class action lawsuit. They might win hundreds of millions of dollars, each of them, a couple thousand. Now it's affecting their kids and their kids' kids. it just happened. It's like the history repeats itself. You just try to be better. Like for the evil to repeat itself and the war and stuff like that is just nonsense. For this, it's like, it happened. Now they could tell people that, hey, we coming here and some of y'all gonna be affected, blah, blah, blah. Like the Hunger Games, like, hey, you just got selected in this area and it was poor and your people sold you out and we ain't think that y'all was gonna become much anyway, so we poisoning y'all. They ain't going to no high class community. No Southamptons or something. They're going to where people ain't gonna fight back, or they don't have enough, or they can't organize together, and that's what happened to, unfortunately. But hey, I don't know.
You know how you light your stove and that gas seeps with the little ticking noise? That's what it smelled like.
Alexis Humphreys grew up here, 1 street away from Eastern.
When I smelled it the first time, I was asleep. And it woke me up because I thought gas was seeping in the house, but come to find out, we come outside and all the neighbors was outside trying to figure out what's going on.
He was an ordinary dad, full of joy, full of jokes.
Last year, Alexis lost her grandfather, who struggled with a respiratory illness called chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD.
COPD is a breathing condition, but you don't get it unless you smoke cigarettes. And my granddad didn't smoke cigarettes, but every 3 weeks or so, my granddad was going to the hospital. He would have to get breathing treatments.
See, first in line for that lawsuit, and they deserve it. For the sake of humanity, I guess, and progress, but they deserve it. They're gonna do it.
I have asthma, bronchitis. Yeah. My mom have just bronchitis, and now my granny has it.
You can't hardly breathe. It's just like your whole world is collapsing down on you, and it's frightening.
And these people just can't pick up and move. They can't say, you know what, the air pollution and quality is bad. Let's just move now. They might just be making it right now. And any sort of disruption, a car pavement, a flat tire, throw them off.
Easter and her husband have also developed COPD. What does it feel like?
Feel like you're fixing to die.
The area around XAI leads the state in emergency department visits for asthma. Memphis has one of the highest rates of toxic air releases of any American city, and many of its most polluting facilities are in this neighborhood.
Elon, what he did with Memphis is objectively somewhat dirty, but he's also doing it in an area where there's like a bigger natural gas plant right next door and like a wastewater treatment and a garbage dump nearby, right? And he's obviously made the world a lot more clean than that one data center.
Damn, so he's saying like he picked a place where it's like, damn, it's already dirty here. Let's just muck it up a little bit more. It's kind of crazy, but it's like, damn, we got to pick some place to dump this garbage. Well, look, they already got a ton of garbage over here and they lead the country in garbage. Let's just throw it over there. It's kind of messed up, man. I'm telling you. It's like how many surgeries we got because of the Holocaust and them doing crazy messed up experiments on certain people. Like, that's messed up. But we got a lot of surgeries that save a lot of people because they were experimenting. Well, they experimenting on slaves and things like that and different things and techniques because they thought they were less than human. It's a lot of surgery that we're doing today that probably revolved around that they were experiments on. It goes back to the Greeks and Romans, how they figured out stuff and this and that. And you know what I mean? It's messed up, but it's a cycle. It's crazy.
In just 1 year, XAI has blown past existing polluters.
They're emitting somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 tons of NOx. I'm an air pollution guy, so I deal in those numbers all the time, and that's larger than anything else in Memphis.
Gas turbines like these release 3 main types of deadly pollution: nitrogen oxides, formaldehyde, and fine particulate matter. Nitrogen oxides combine with other pollutants to form ground-level ozone, which causes and worsens asthma and COPD. Formaldehyde causes cancer, and particulate matter, airborne soot, can pass through your lungs and into your bloodstream, causing heart disease.
We've shown up today because we've been to too many funerals. We've shown up today because we've cried too many tears. We've shown up here today because we're tired. And we have an expectation of the people that we elect and put into place. We expect them to do what is in our best interest. Not Elon Musk. And what we're saying is that stops now.
In April, hundreds of people came to a high school in South Memphis to talk about XAI.
You got to fight for your rights. Damn, Elon should have at least reached out for them and like offer them jobs somewhere and a new plan or something. Data center.
Today, get a backbone, because in Memphis we don't bluff. Period.
In January, the company belatedly applied for a permit to operate 15 of its turbines for 5 years.
This guy got to go up there and be the sacrificial lamb, knowing he about to be booed.
That's the first time that XAI has publicly addressed the community in any way.
I understand. People do not want to hear the statement, but again, XAI is committed to meeting the highest standard for emissions. XAI is going above and beyond the required emission control required. And to that, thank you very much for your time.
He immediately left after reading his script. It's extremely disrespectful.
It's time to start telling the truth. The truth is that XAI, who just ran up out of here, they have no controls that prevent air pollution or decrease air pollution in their factories. None. That's the truth.
Elon, if that's true, you got to fix that, my dude. You got to put something in place or have like a community thing where like you do a report from a third party on what y'all doing every month to decrease the air pollution, and then give it to them and they can read it out every time they have a meeting or something like that. Something got to be done. You can't just leave it.
To date, local and state authorities have taken no action against XAI. Running turbines without permits or pollution controls is also a violation of the Clean Air Act, which it's the EPA's job to enforce. But to date, the EPA has done nothing, and Elon Musk is doing what he can to keep it that way. Musk has helped the Trump administration place strict limits on the EPA's budget as part of President Trump's broader project to radically reshape the agency. Trump's EPA has begun what it calls the biggest deregulatory action in U.S. history.
To fulfill President Trump's promise to unleash American energy and give power back to the states.
It eliminated the EPA's office that assists heavily polluted communities like South Memphis and canceled billions of dollars of funding for addressing pollution.
So you've slashed already $22 billion in grants, but you used Doge, if I'm not mistaken, to take down your head count?
It's been great. The people working on the Doge mission are EPA employees. What they provide to me are recommendations. I have found that working with Elon and Doge has been fantastic, a big help to our effort.
He like somebody paying him the right amount.
In March, the EPA announced plans to roll back over 30 air and water quality standards, including protections against fine particulate matter. The new head of the agency describes promoting the AI industry as a core part of the EPA's mission.
It's about unleashing energy dominance, making America the AI capital of the world. And the EPA can't be restrictive of that. We can't be suffocating it.
Making America the world's AI capital means prioritizing a massive expansion of data centers, and hundreds of them are now under construction.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
We got to make the AI, and then once we have it, we ask the AI how we bring back the pollution and everything. And when they tell us, we got to do that. So they should make like all the AI facilities have to look like greeneries or something like that to make it nice and good. And the flowers got to be living. And if they can live, then we can live.
With Trump's EPA backing that effort, there may be little recourse for the communities downwind.
XAI comes from a culture of Silicon Valley. That culture is go fast and break stuff. Break them.
A week after this hearing, XAI announced it would reduce the number of turbines it's running at Colossus over the next 2 months, but it's also dramatically expanding.
I'm happy to announce that XAI is increasing their footprint.
It's building a second larger data center.
Oh yeah, we've already started work on the next cluster. Yeah, about 5 times the power.
Where its construction permit application indicates it's considering using between 40 and 90 gas turbines and enough electricity to power 40% of Memphis.
So we're not like stopping here.
In February, during an XAI product launch, Elon Musk gave the closest thing to a public explanation for what he's done in Memphis.
Well, we needed a building, so we found an Electrolux factory in Memphis. That's why it's in Memphis, home of Elvis. And also, I think it was the capital of ancient Egypt. Then we needed power, at least 120 megawatts at first, but the building only had 15 megawatts. So we initially leased a whole bunch of generators. So we have generators on one side of the building, trailer after trailer of generators, until we could get the utility power to come in. You know, it's like interesting. It's not like, oh, we just magically made it happen. You have to break down the problem, just like Grok does for reasoning.
XAI did not respond to questions for this report.
What's happening in Memphis, that is Elon's vision.
Mr. President, all systems are activated. Congratulations, Dr.
You probably got to think in Elon's shoes. He probably think he's doing something for the greater good. Like, do you let 20 die to save 1,000? Or do you try to save them all and everybody could die? You can have 1,020 people die. Or do you risk their life? Because you damn sure don't risk 1,000 lives to save the 20, right? But do you risk the 20 to save 1,000? So if you think you're going to poison, let's say, 1,000 people, but you're going to improve the lives of 20 million homeless people in America as AI help us to dive into the future, then is it worth it?
Morgan, it's a marvelous achievement. Thank you, sir.
A technocracy, to be able to do whatever he wants, whatever he chooses, to experiment, to kill, to destroy the environment at the behest of his machines. What that will amount to is a plantation economy for the rest of the world. A desolate wasteland of data centers is to follow.
Damn, I don't know about that. What y'all think? Yeah, I think a desolate. That's like a Mad Max type stuff. Like, oh, we're gonna be begging for water. They said the next Great War gonna be fought over water, so maybe they right. I don't know, but like I said, if he's helping people and we get AI, and sometimes I don't think like people like Elon or Jeff Bezos think about Earth. Like, they so busy trying to get to Mars and stuff, and they human, so they got a set time period. They're gonna be out this world. They got Elon might have what at best, let's say if he make it to 100 or something, 60 more years to live. To him, all those billions don't mean nothing. You got $200 billion with 50 years to go. You're like, okay, we gotta move. Maybe I got 20, 30 years. Who knows? Is every day is a gift. It's a present. Like, hey, I gotta go. Like, my kids gonna have this money. Who know what they're gonna do with it? I want to make this world a certain footprint, and they want to see it. I know that they good at like building and saving and thinking about long-term wealth, like Warren Buffett and them. That was cool back then because there's only so much they could do. But if Warren Buffett was 20 years old now, he'd probably be in AI and all this coin stuff and Bitcoin and crypto and all this. But now he's just used to my Coca-Cola, my Disney, give me the gold, my stocks, my regular stocks and portfolio. People like Elon doing now, we're going to get in this, we're going to dabble in that, we're going to get in that, in the cars, Now, I mean, it's a different time period. I'm sure back then Buffett was seen as revolutionary when Coca-Cola was doing this and taking over and fighting for this and market share before they was as dominant. They played those games too. Now, Elon and Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg, they playing those games with the metaverse and all this and AI this and that. And they all got their open AI and all this AI and they social media platform. They controlling everything. Like, they controlling the physical realm and the metaverse. It's like, we're going to get them on both sides. Let me know what y'all think. Elon poisoning a town. Yeah, I think it's right, wrong. How do y'all see that? Let's talk about it in the comments. Please like, share, subscribe. We're going up. Please, we tell the truth here. We're looking at the news stories, whether it's social media, politics, whatever. We're looking at it, telling the truth. That's what the cave is. Don't come to the cave if you're still about lying and you ain't got no accountability. Let's talk about it in the comments. What y'all think about this story, y'all?